I'm going to share with you 20 of my financial mistakes which I've made in my 20s. It may or may not apply to you. It may be a long video, but it's gonna be worth it. Here we go! The first financial mistake which I made is not starting early. If you start at the age of 30 with a principal amount of $1,000 and you added up $1,000 each month for the next 10 years till retirement at the age of 40, assuming that the stock market is earning at an 8% return on average, you'll get about $187,000. And if you start at the age of 20 with the same principal of $1,000 and $1,000 each month for the next 20 years till the age of 40, assuming that the stock market earns an average of 8% each year, you'll get about almost $500,000. Now why is that so? That's because it is the power of compounding interest. Number 2, not maximizing on your credit card benefits. Now I know what you're thinking. Having a credit card will get you into lots of trouble if you didn't pay it off on time. However, if you were to able to pay off all of your credit card bills on time, you will get a lot of benefits out of it. Say for example, if you use your credit card for a grocery shopping bill, you'll be able to get a lot of cashback returns out of your credit card. So what about dining out? If you go for a selected outlet, sometimes the credit card may be able to give you a big discount in return. And if you use a debit card, nothing! But wait, what about annual fees? If you use a credit card really frequently, sometimes the bank will be able to give you an annual fee waiver, which could be beneficial in the long run. Mistake number 3, not creating your emergency fund. But what's an emergency fund? An emergency fund is a money that's set aside in case of any emergency happen. If you want to go on a date, you need to have an emergency fund. If you got into an accident, you need to have an emergency fund. And say for example, if you have a relative who's into financial trouble,
you have to set aside an emergency fund as well.
If you never set aside an emergency fund, in the end you're going to swipe your credit card bill and you're going to get into very big credit card debts. If you want to set up a template for your emergency fund, click the card right here. Mistake number 4, not reviewing your insurance plan. Now I know what you're thinking. Why review your insurance plan at the age of 20? Because when you invest your insurance at the age of 20, it is one of the lowest premium at that point of your age. That's because in the insurance company, they believe that your 20s, your mortality rate is way lower compared to when you are starting at the age of 30. And when you start to delay on the insurance plan at the age of 20 and goes into your 30, your premium will shoot up to 20% extra. So don't wait, go and get an insurance agent and find out about your insurance plan. Number 5, being over-ambitious as an entrepreneur. Wait, what? Being an entrepreneur is good. I know, being an entrepreneur is good at some point, but hey, being an entrepreneur has a lot of disadvantage as well. You have to take a lot of risk. You need to know to have a plan. If you don't have a plan of becoming an entrepreneur and not being persistent, you're gonna have to fail very big. And if you become an employee, there's a certain advantage of it. The first advantage of being an employee is that you are able to accumulate an amount of saving at an early stage. And when you are able to save a huge amount to invest, that means that you'll be able to get a very high chance of retiring early. Sometimes even earlier than an entrepreneur as well. Now take that, entrepreneurs, which leads me to point number 6, not laying out a plan. As the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Becoming an entrepreneur, you need to have a plan. A plan how to sell out, a plan what's your unique selling point, a plan of marketing, a plan of how to budget and control your expenses, a plan on how to maximize your growth and revenue, a plan on every single aspect of your business from point A to point Z. And if you do not have a plan of becoming an entrepreneur, I would advise you to plan out of becoming an employee and start accumulating the funds and earning on your saving. And if you know how to put more money into your saving, you'll be able to get more returns in your investment and probably retire earlier than the entrepreneur. Hey! Point number 7, getting rich quick. I want to get rich quick because if I get rich quick, the quicker the better, so that I'll be able to enjoy all the lifestyle at a very young age. YOLO! I know what you're thinking. Most of the media that's portraying right now is that if you're starting out and retire early with having a very good lifestyle right now, it's a very good thing because you can enjoy all of the benefits. But this is what the media have not been telling you. Most of this media, they are working really hard for all this effort. Even when I started out this YouTube right now, I'm facing a lot of challenge. I have to learn, keep practicing, making better videos. This video right now may not be that great, but I hope that if I keep practicing from now on, I believe with that 100 videos and above, I'll be able to do better. Getting rich quick is not the way. Being persistent and reaping that reward out of the persistency is the best way. Point number 8, not investing into Visa. Boy, this is one of the biggest regrets I've ever made in the decade. So what is Visa? Back in the days when I was in the School of Finance, I was doing a little bit of research about Visa that is done by and given by my lecturer. So Visa is a company that does a lot of merchant fees that is being collected each and every time that you make a point of sale. So what they're selling is on Pearl's Merchant and the collection of all the fees and transactions by the bank. So in other words, if every time you made a purchase, Visa steps in and tries to protect that transaction between the customer and the retailer. So back then, the price of Visa is at $26. Today, it has gone up to $207. Man, this is one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. Number 9, job hopping. I know what you're thinking. Instead of a 10% increment, I'll get an extra boost of 20% increment in the next company. That's an extra 10%. However, the downside of job hopping is that during the transition period, you may need to have a recurring expense and have no income in between. So when you job hop, you will not be able to get that income within the transition, which may be an obstruction to your financial plan. When there is an expenses, you might need to fork out your emergency fund to actually go on to the next company. So when you want to job hop, this is my consideration. What sort of skills you're gonna get in the next company? Number 10, over socializing. If you're halfway through this video, don't forget to smash the like button. Okay, I know it's good to socialize once in a while, but if your once in a while socialization has become too frequent, all these small little expenses will add up and snowball effect, and you will hamper and affect all on your financial freedom. So what I would suggest that instead of over socializing, socialize once in a while, perhaps once a month, instead of every single day. Number 11, over investing into penny shares. I repeat that one more time.
Over investing into penny shares.
According to SEC, what's a penny share? A penny share is a company that has a market capitalization of less than 100 million and has a price value of less than $5 per share. According to statistics, 80% of small businesses tend to fail in less than 3 years. If you were to invest into a penny share, chances are that 80% it might be wiped out in the future. Hence, over-investing into penny share may be a bad thing. So leave it down in the comment below. Do you invest in penny shares or do you trade in penny shares? So instead of investing into penny shares, I would suggest to invest in long-term multinational companies that has a long establishment of more than 20 years. Number 12, over-diversification. As what Warren Buffett says, diversification is a hedge against ignorance. When I was younger, I loved to invest in multiple different instruments such as mutual funds, all the way down to Forex, all the way down to commodities and so on and so forth. However, trying out with multiple different instruments is like trying out multiple different weapons in hope to find out a single weapon that I'm very good at. When you over-diversify your financial instruments, your yield return may be way lower compared to what you are able to gain when you are focusing on one single investment. So in my case, I would say I'm trying to focus more on investment in equities rather than investing in other things. Number 13, chasing onto trends. As the saying goes, trend is your friend. However, I just got the feeling that if you are chasing on the trends, you're just having a FOMO feeling, a fearing of missing out. So instead of chasing after trends, I would suggest to research the company why you are investing in the company. It's just like you're having a first date with a company, and instead of trying to chase multiple girls out there, You just try to focus on one single company that you love and try to stick to that company for their lifetime, and you'll watch it grow. Point number 14, not focusing on your retirement plan. If you want to know the reason why, see point number 1. Point number 15, investing into gold. I know what you're thinking. Gold is a good investment because it's hedging against inflation, it's hedging against the dollar depreciation. But investing in gold has not much of a value in this day of age. After the 1961, Richard Nixon had already decided to impose a floating rate, which means that the gold is no longer pegged to the dollar. Dollar has no value, so goes for gold. Number 16, not investing into Bitcoin mining. Back then when I was young, I was given the opportunity to invest into Bitcoin mining, setting up a Bitcoin wallet, setting up a Bitcoin mining rig, and to make sure that the GPU is running at a pace. And back then, Bitcoin was only at $5. Today it has boomed up to 1,000 times or 10,000 times more. Well, what I've learned from here is that when there's an opportunity strike, again, take that opportunity. Well, at least I have some Dogecoin instead. Point number 17, not applying any of my investment skills. I know when you're young, you love to read all the different type of investment books, such as Warren Buffett, Bill Gates' letter. It could be from Charlie Munger, perhaps from Phil Town Rule Number 1 Investing as well. But when not applying all of your investment skills, it's no different from doing anything at all. When you're reading something new, don't forget to apply it by doing it one step at a time. Point number 18, spending too much money on takeout coffee. In my case, takeout tea. Instead of spending too much money on takeout coffee, why not you save it up and start investing into a coffee machine? With that investment in a coffee machine, you'll be able to save a lot of money in the long run. Point number 19, spending too much money eating out. When you spend a lot of money eating out, you'll be hampering on your savings money. So instead, why not you learn how to cook? And finally, point number 20, spending too much money on once-in-a-while moments. I know once-in-a-while moments can be a very good thing because you need to cherish all your life with your families, with your friends, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, it will cost your savings in the long run. And that's it. These are my 20 financial mistakes which I made in my 20s. So what do you think about this? If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. So what are your financial mistakes that you have made in your 20s? Leave it down in the comment below and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.